What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 19 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Malekith and Naggarond Inc. campaign. Friendly reminder, all company personnel, assets, and subsidiaries are personal property of our beloved tyrant CEO. To damage the CEO's property without permission is to invite the offender and 3 subsequent generations to be boiled alive in a blood cauldron. Anyway, as we saw last time, Morathi has taken out Mazdamundi outside of Machu Picchu, severely weakening Mazdamundi's faction. In fact, it looks like Hexoatl really only has one main stack remaining, and Malekith is well poised to take it out unless it runs next turn. We'll have to see. A bit of an annoyance last time, however, as the Bleak Holes decided to attack Naggaroth's subsidiary, the Ancestral Throng, and thus they have to be punished by having them and 3 subsequent generations boiled alive in a blood cauldron. It's company policy, guys. I don't make the rules. Anyway, we're gonna deal with them as soon as we can. In fact, we'll probably send up this stack minus the Hydra and the Shades to deal with them a little bit. If we can get an ambush or something going, we shouldn't have too difficult of a time, I would imagine, though we may want to build a couple of artillery pieces even despite the cost here, and just to speed the matter up that little bit. In fact, what we can do right now is let's get a Supreme Sorceress. Tyrant gives us 10% movement range, for example, and just to get there a little bit quicker. Do we have a Strategist? Malevolent, Cruel... we have a Strategist, but it's Sereth, who I believe is at 0 loyalty, so I'm not going to risk that. Could have gotten Morancy back in here as well. Alright, fine. We're going to go with Tyrant, then. The Lore of Beasts, it'll be serviceable. Not probably great with this particular type of army, but it'll serve for now. Anyway, Jaden 2, Electric Boogaloo. Dark Steed for you, and we're going to get you Root Marcher, Wild Heart, Flock of Doom, and ooh, we actually have to pick between Root Marcher and 2 points in Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, which is also quite useful and nice, and we do use it a lot. And I think we're going to go with Pans. And then presumably we'll level up. And then what you're going to do, Jaden, is you're going to take all of the... oh, damn it. Screw that up a little bit. You're going to take all of the basic units, like so. Lovely, and you're going to channel for a turn while you're here to get your magic up and running properly. And then you'll either head out to sea and hit the Moon Shard, depending. And, Kazrak might actually even be willing to help us attack it. Though if we go by sea, there's a high likelihood that we identify whoever's here, and it may be Eatane who's there, which would also be quite problematic for us as well. We need to deal with the problems that we're currently dealing with before we go. Let's also upgrade or get 2 Reaper Bolters in here as well. Once again, despite the insane cost, units are all so expensive, and we'll use those to help Jade. Now, these are all temporary troops that we'll get rid of later on, though some of them will go to our next Black Arc in 4 turns. Anyway, that's prepared. Also, we did manage to once again reach the 330 threshold, so the faster uploads continue, so keep it up, guys. I do appreciate it. I don't say it often enough, and it certainly shows the interest in this particular campaign for those faster uploads. And that's the best way to know. So 300 likes, 30 comments, the offer continues to stand. And keep those Naggarond Inc. sayings coming as well. They've all been just a blast to read. Anyway, let's get started. We are going to have to attack Machu Picchu or not automatically, but manually with Morathi, and we'll deal with that in a little bit. But let's move everybody else out first. Jaden is heading out to join Crone Hellebron, although we don't want to get killed by Halfthor, a Mammoth Rider, so we'll stand outside of the frozen city like so. He's not going to attack us, at least I doubt it. I mean, it's possible. We could also summon the Sisters of the Singing Doom here. We have to trade all of that to have Thor anyway. Though there's also a decent likelihood that he wouldn't actually be able to reach us here. It's kind of hard to say. Well, either way, you know what? 3 executioners with this amount of reinforcements should be able to rip apart those marauder berserkers, I would think, especially due to their relative lack of armor-piercing weapon damage, which they would need to deal with the heavily armored executioners. Recruiter Avaris, you have nearly arrived. In fact, you have arrived at Naggarond, and we will be able to use you to build Malekith's Black Guard forces soon. Very soon, in fact. Alright, like so. Fantastic. And we could rush this, but we'll see how much money we have remaining. I think maybe we'll wait until next turn and then do it. Marathi, you're about to attack, so we'll move you next. Sharkia, you are going to continue sitting outside of Malice's new territory. Same with Admiral Yorn for now. And who is Lothiel? Lothiel? Oh, you're another... You're another tech thief. Alright, well, let's keep stealing tech. Ugh, the expense... But you know what, honestly, 290 is not bad. Does the sacrifice to Hikardi also reduces hero action cost? It doesn't. Alright, so it's just reasonably cheap. And hey, we're getting more steel tech. I will probably rename most of these to tech thieves, though we may also... depending, and get this tech thief in Malice's... wait, not this tech thief. One of these tech thieves here, the Shadow Sorceress, into Malice's army. I haven't quite decided which particular tech thief will go into Malice's army, but the sacking and raiding should certainly be helpful. I do think that with him being focused on Cav, the Occam's Mindraiser would be a pretty decent option. We could also go Beast Lore for him, but I don't want to go overboard with the Beast Lore. I do like it, don't get me wrong, especially after using it to great effectiveness in my Krog-Gar campaign, but we already have it on Crone Hellebron, and I'd like everybody to have different lores, generally speaking. And I also think Rakarth will probably want the Beast lore, because he's Rakarth, so, you know, there's also that. Anyway, let's continue. I don't think these guys need to do anything, at least our masters, I mean. We do have buildings to build, although, you know what, let's do this manual fight quickly first, before doing that. Just to speed the matter up a little bit, let's go Druki first strike, and then we'll strike first, as we tend to do, and it is auto-resolvable, but do we risk it? Do we risk this? Well, this guy obviously can't destroy us. That's a fact. I'm just worried that Caterpillar might be able to go into March Stance and reach us here. Although, it feels like he might be too far. I'm gonna hope he's too far, and I'm going to auto-resolve this. Auto. Now, the damage isn't horrible, even though it is most definitely more than we'd like. And oh, 1 second, I have to move my cat. I don't think that this has happened in this particular campaign yet, which is something of a new one, but those who have watched my other campaigns will probably be used to. 1 sec. Alright, sorry about that. It's very hard to concentrate when there's incessant meowing right in your ear, very loudly every couple of seconds, until he's moved, so 'tis necessary. Occupy the place. A Machu Picchu and a potion of toughness, not a bad find at all. In fact, who do we give that to? What is Malice currently using in terms of his ability? He doesn't have any way to heal, does he? I mean, not like, oh, he has that potion of foolhardiness because I found it funny. Yeah, let's give him the potion of toughness. I mean, Malice probably doesn't really need it, but for now, it's better. He's a very tough fighter lord, so it's not a huge deal, and let's hope that Caterpillar can't reach us. And Marathi, you are not healing at all, are you? Damn, we're really gonna need to get you a death hag. What the heck is up with your heal rate? Why is it so low? It seems low. Oh no, it's because we're in the unpleasant climate. Yeah, okay, fine. Fine, but we don't have anything to do. There's nothing we could do about it, is what I'm getting at. Yes, we could get Rituals of Blood, but I think right now we want to focus on Grotesque Sacrifices to get the extra Norska relations, as it'll help us with not having to fight Throg. A, because I think I don't really care about Norska. I'd rather take over Ulthuan while Throg takes Norska and holds it against anybody who's coming up north. And then at the same time, there's some Norskan units that we could very well have access too that would be nice to have. Frostworms, Fimir, maybe a few other things like skin wolves could also work with our armies. Mammoths, war shrine mammoths in particular, to buff our units in combination with our blood rack cauldrons. There's definitely stuff in there that would be useful. It also makes me think that maybe we want to get an alliance with the Legion of Chaos. They would be more useful, to be fair, than the Warhost of the Apocalypse would be, in terms of giving us access to basically all the demon units. On the other hand, Dark Elves do hate Chaos, except Marathi, but generally speaking, Dark Elves really, really don't like Chaos, so yeah. I have to think about that. Anyway, Admiral Yorn is good, and since we did that battle, let's do the money spending, the money expenditure, whatever. Right now, we're not going to waste time on the Estates of the Masters here. Harganeth, we could upgrade the Estates of the Masters. Oh, no, you know what? Honestly, in 4 turns, you're already going to be good at tier 5, which means we could just ignore this. Granite Hills, you could get this for basically nothing, so we'll get this upgrade because you have the Stonemason's Workshop, which makes everything super cheap. Venom Glade, yeah, fine. Let's get the Slave District. It's still necessary. Iron Frost, Glacier, Slave District for you, 1800. Ugh, why do these things have to be so expensive? Hotek's Column. Do we? Wait, why, no, we don't need watchtowers here. I'm wondering whether it would be worth it to build the slave sums all the way back here. It would apply to the Altar of Ultimate Darkness, to... Wait, no, it wouldn't. The Clawed Coast. Wait, where are we? Hotek's Column. Oh, you're in here. Oh, no. Then yes. This is worth it. This is worth it. I was looking at the wrong place. I was looking at the Iron Frost Glacier, which we are building that thing in anyway, so yeah. Guild Calls for you, Dreckless Spire, and, oh, you know what we should do? We should get Steven Segalis over here so that he can make the Temple of Cain upgrades all that much cheaper. So, you're gonna come here, bud. It's gonna take you multiple turns to get here, really. I'm not sure I want to wait that long, but for now, build the first level of the Temple of Cain, even at expense. We do want to build a Temple of Cain at Grand as well, so I guess maybe I could have waited with Steven, but whatever. Not a huge deal at the end of the day. Iron Coast. Wait, that was the last thing, damn. Eternal Lagoon. I gotta remember the name of the provinces. I remember the names of most of the settlements, but the province names elude me, so I still don't know what to expect every time I click on a province here. Anyway, Blackrock, yes to the guild halls. We do have to be a little bit careful out here because we don't have don't really have armies there. Glacial Gardens, you I guess can get that slave district, and we're very far from Steven Segalis, so we might as well get the Shrine of Cain here as well. Black Flood, Cragrath Deep, and it's on the expensive side. Might be worth it. Alright, I want to maintain enough money. You know what? Yeah, Deadwood, for example. You have obsidian and you have wood. We want to get those up and running immediately. Dargoth does not need walls, but Naggarond does, which means we need to upgrade the Dark Tower at Naggarond first, even before the Frozen City, or else it might cause problems. Otherwise, the Frozen City will probably want to get... Well, I guess we could get the growth via the Dark Elf Manors. Although next upgrade would allow us to get the Sorceress's Abode, wouldn't it? I don't think we need Torture Post in this particular location, as odd as that sounds for a Dark Elf campaign. But anyway, Dark Elf Manors here just to grow a little bit faster. Hag Hall. Yestival's Anvil upgrade, and I guess we'll upgrade the settlement first. Let's upgrade the settlement first. It's not super expensive here anyway, and that's about it. Alrighty, that's all the money we got, though we do have to keep an eye on the rest of this. Yes, there's a lot of territories where we're currently not collecting income, but they're all very negative in terms of public order, generally speaking, and on top of that aren't really serving to give us much. Where is this? The cold mines? Oh, the Twisted Towers. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll deal with that later on. We really need to do a quest with Malekith in order to counteract the public order places, but we'll do it later. Anyway, technology. Next up is Broken by the Lash and the campaign movement range that it provides at plus 10%, which is swell. Own armies faction-wide in enemy territory. Huh. The fact that this says own armies faction-wide, whereas this says... all characters. I assume this still applies to lords and not just heroes. At least I would hope. It would be completely stupid if it didn't. But anyway, not important right now. We'll deal with it later. Let's skip, and I guess end the turn and see if Caterpillar decides to attack Malekith. Maybe let's give him a point just in case. I doubt that he's going to run into any kind of real issue here. But do I risk it, right? He doesn't have Doombolt. I do want another point in Infamous Raider. Because Malekith's leaned very heavily into it via Scoured and Stripped. He does want Sadistic as well, but I really do want the Arcane Conduit, just because he's going to be a caster. And he's also not got any points upgrading any of his units, but, you know, he doesn't have those Blackguard as of yet. You know, let's get Infamous Raider for now. At least we don't have to lean any further into that particular aspect of the, for the tree. You... Gren, let's get you scouting. I'm maxed out. Gotta get those extra item drops everywhere we can. Pain compliance for Kuran, and that's a decent buff for Malekith. What's his missile resistance at? 12. Yeah, he still needs way more. His speed is at 112, though. Isn't that lovely? And it'll climb ever higher. Pain compliance for you as well. More missile resistance and more speed. 116 now. Not gonna climb any higher, though, and yeah, we'll... Let's see, what are we at here? 51% physical resistance, 5% ward. Ooh, wow, he barely has any ward save. And it's all coming from the Black Amulet as well. We're gonna need to try to get a better talisman for him. He doesn't really need any more physical resistance, although I do like the fact that it provides melee attack as well. We also gotta remember that he'll have better stats once we actually get into his fighty tree. Anyway, end turn. Now let's see what we got. Will somebody deign to attack us now? What will Havthor do? What are you doing? You want us to join war against Wulfric? We will eventually, once we start raiding his coastline with our Black Arcs, but they need a few turns to get themselves up and running. I see that this guy's going to continue attacking these little settlements, and we're just going to auto-resolve. Yeah, we could probably kill off an artillery piece or something if we really tried to fight them, but I'd rather not waste the time. Havthor is indeed going to attack, but... is there any real reason to fight this, I guess, is the question. It's a bunch of Marauder Berserkers, and we do have the Admiral's force here, which will make this completely trivial. Generally speaking, I don't like to fight trivial battles. On the other hand, this is the last hurrah of this particular faction, so maybe we won't find a better, more interesting battle this episode. On the other hand, there is that Caterpillar Lizard Man. You know what, let's fight this, screw it, just for fun. I want to see the Executioners in action a little bit, even if I do think that this is going to be relatively trivial. Plus, we got to get on the field in the time, since the reinforcements aren't here immediately, before the Marauder Berserkers make quick work of this. Here we go. And we have no casters to kill the enemy off for us, either. Druki indeed, and oh, would you look at that? I did not realize when I was trying to decide whether to fight this battle or not, that this would be a minor settlement battle, and now I am very glad that it is, because here we are. We have not seen a lot of... Is this the first minor settlement battle we've had throughout the campaign? I'm genuinely trying to remember right now. Huh. Well, either way, the Dark Elf minor settlements look pretty fantastic. Gotta love those towers. Although I don't get why they have the flag of Clarkarond and the flag of Karond Kar. Why those two? Wait, I just out of curiosity, do the other towers have the flags of Hagrief and Naggarond? Or, huh? Why those two flags? Those are separate cities. What the heck is going on here? Did they just decide to decorate? Oh, okay, no, we got other flags here. Interesting. Ah, there's another Karond Kar flag. I'm not seeing the Naggarond flag. Lots of... Oh, this is a... Well, it's the Cain symbol. Whose flag is this? This isn't the Hag's flag. But I do remember that, well, it's a common symbol. I feel like Cainite rebellions have that particular flag. Anyway, I'm digressing. I just really, I like the look of this minor city. It's a very nice one. Oh, and especially like partly shadowed and in the light like that. Very, very nice. Anyway, the battle will begin. Not to worry, I was in slow motion. This still takes me really out of the immersion. Why did they? I can't believe they were too lazy to build different type of towers for and different factions. It's not like they didn't have assets that they could reuse and resize. Looking at you, big old tower, just use this, resize it slightly, bam, and now you have a buildable tower that actually looks the part and blends into the city instead of this garbage, which is nothing like Dark Elf construction. They would never build something that looks like this. Anyway, I digress. Here we go. We've set up most of our units over on this side of the map. Two of the walkway entry areas, I guess, into the settlement, defended by a single unit of Dread Spears, followed by our Executioners behind them, and then a unit of shielded Dark Shards, and then behind them unshielded ones as well. Together they will hopefully be able to hold the enemy and just long enough to dish out the damage. The Dread Spears will be first, but the enemy will take plenty of bolt while they try to break through, and we do have this tier 4 tower that's going to be doing splash damage. Let's follow along here. And nice shot, did not even miss that one. Beautiful. And ooh, we do have a hill where we can fire down from over on this side, so that at least is looking pretty good. We also have Black Arc support coming down. With the enemy essentially forced into blobs in these entry areas, we are definitely going to take advantage. We may not have access to actual spells, but Black Arc bombardment should still do quite a bit of damage, even at level 1. Or does this count as level 0? I guess level 0, whatever. Anyway, Executioners are going to follow the enemy in. Looks like some of them are going to route from that Black Arc support hit, which is hardly surprising. And over on this side, the enemy's in pretty bad shape as well. And very nice. A lovely little battle, and this does not look like a fun hill to try to take, especially with the basic units and all of those quarrels coming down and hitting you in the face, especially when you're a low-armored, Norskin warrior. Although the Chaos Warriors here would probably be having a decent time, but we still got all that armor piercing on both of the Executioners as well as the Dark Shards. Anyway, it looks like the battle's going decently in our favor over on this side. We also have the reinforcements arriving, which have not so far participated. The enemy Lord has arrived over on this side of the map, where we're also defending another gate as well. Really, some really great shots in this battle. I also really like the view of the mountains in this. I mean, doesn't this look fantastic? Look at that. Once again, the people who, the artists and the digital artists and whoever is responsible for all this, and just generally speaking in all the maps, making them all with love. Great job, just such a great job. I love the Dark Elf watchtowers up high in the mountains there. Anyway, this map is really distracting me today for some reason. Oh, well, look at that. We have some kind of... I don't even know what that is supposed to be. Some kind of magical barrier, perhaps? I see some towers in the background. Maybe there's Sorceress Tower over there, and the Sorceress of the Conclave is doing stuff up there. Anyway, back to it. Enemy Lord is attacking. It's got 2 units of range that are firing upon our poor units of Bleak Swords here. But the Bleak Swords do have support from a unit of Black Arc Corsairs, which are going to move in and lend their dual weapons to the fray, especially considering they're quite good at mincing infantry and have very high melee attack. We also have our Death Hag, who is going after the enemy chieftain here, and while the enemy units or the enemy range units may have thought themselves safe, there are more of our Black Arc Corsairs moving in and getting ready to hit them in the back. Another unit of Black Arc Corsairs with dual weapons, and another with hand bows about to move in. Alright, Death Hag, how are you doing here? The Marauder Chieftain's down to close to half HP, and here come our flankers, who looped all the way around. Took them a little bit of a long time, mind you, but the enemy at least is well and truly engaged and cannot help its poor range units. A little bit of a preview of the way that our Black Arcs will be fighting in the future, as well as we haven't had a lot of playtime for our Black Arc Corsairs so far, but, well, that's clearly going to change as we send more and more Black Arcs out into the fray. Here comes more Black Arc support, speaking of, and absolutely destroying those enemies that were trying to make it up the hill. Yeah, this was definitely worth fighting. Lots of great shots here, even if it isn't a difficult battle, and there's no way that the enemy is going to make it through because this is a minor settlement fight. Anyway, it looks like most of the enemies are booking it on out of there, though they're going to meet those Black Ark Corsairs that are still holding their friends. The chieftain is also trying to horse his way out, while the rest of his army is on foot. It's nice to be the only one with a horse, isn't it? Although it's kind of dumb trying to get directly through the lines in this matter. I hope that eventually they'll add an animation for, not necessarily this game, but for future Total War games, where cavalry units get pulled down and off horses as well. And ooh, our artillery have arrived and our reinforcements are in just in time to chase the enemy, but I do believe the battle is over. And now we're going to chase down as many of them as we can with murderous prowess active as well. Fantastic. Alrighty, well, that is that. A spectacular looking, if nothing else, battle, even if it wasn't a difficult one. And no, I like how there's a statue of Cain right in the middle of town. I don't know what the heck these purple crystals are supposed to be. Well, either way, we got Druchii runes on the ground, a statue of Cain, a surprising lack of, I don't know, like a blood shrine or something, but it's a nice statue. Alright. Ooh, actually the armor looks great, look at that. I didn't know that there was so much detail on it, and I like this color scheme as well. I'm really distracted by the maps today. Anyway, with that, the battle ends. We're just going to chase the enemy down. I'm going to speed up over it. And it'll be a couple seconds. Or at least it should be. We still gotta chase down everyone we can, and there we are. A decisive victory, and very much, I should say. A decisive victory as we didn't take too much damage, and we should be able to heal up after this, depending on if they offer us enough slaves for our trouble. Alrighty, fun little fight. Obviously, the enemy stood no chance whatsoever, but I am glad that we fought it just by virtue of the rarity of these minor settlement battles so far. We also got ourselves a very decent amount of slaves out of that, so we're gonna take those and... oh, right, and we healed up to full. Alright, destroy this one. We're obviously auto-resolving, and this time we'll release the captives for the money. I'm tempted to murder the captives, but... it's still a decent amount. Honestly, of the times that we actually did manage to use murder captives, it rarely has resulted in actually getting us the slaver ancillaries that we did want. Mission successful for the Ancestral Throng, not that we really care about the missions, mind you, at the current time. Weapon strength for Admiral Villal. Wait, what the heck? Dread Banner, what is this? Faction destroyed. Morancy is ready for duty. What is a Dread Banner? Oh, it's just like, it's It's identical to the Wailing Banner. Causes fear, causes terror. Causes fear, causes terror. Except this is blue, and oh, I guess they're both blue. Okay. Well, I guess you can hold this. It's a nice little banner. Not that you super need it or have a lot of use for it, mind you, but nonetheless, hold on to it. Blockade continues, and can you reach the Tower of Sorcerers? No, damn, I really wanted to see what was going on over there. Malice, oh, you can't reach the Palace of Princes, which means you're going to Blood Mountain instead. You know what? Here's what we'll do. You're gonna go here. Can you see the Tower of Sorcerers from halfway there? Okay, there's nobody there. Okay, perfect. Then you're gonna Steel Tech. Oh, lovely. And I guess at least we can prevent these guys from building anything. Malice, head out to the Blood Mountain. Sharkia, damn it. You're gonna follow along in a second. We will, we're gonna have to manually fight this as well. Damn it, this is why we want to give Malice an actual stack and an actual sorceress in his stack. And Ava, ooh, you know what? At the cost of attrition, we might be able to provide enough support for this to be auto-resolvable, in which case you're just gonna go up there. Attrition or not. But you're just at a range of Malice, but it's not a huge deal. Either way, we need to join these armies together. How about now? Now can we auto-resolve this? No, still no. One of the Dread Spears will still die. Damn it, the bloody... okay.
What do you see?
What about a Druchii for a strike? Will that change anything? No, it will not. Okay, one sec. I'll deal with Malice in a second. I just want to see what else is going on. First of all, where is Cat Pillar? You're still at sea. How interesting. Okay, well, Malekith will kill you at sea, then land at Swamp Town at the same time. And that's fantastic. Marathi, will you be able to reach Shrine of Sotek not in a single turn, alas, but you can raid their territory and then take it out. Is it defended? Not by an army, let's say. Alright, go here, Marathi.
I am going.
Yes, yes, you are going. Thank you. Move on down here. I want to see if there's any armies. No, it's just the Hunts Marshal's expedition. So much human hide over there. The Dark Elves do like to make clothes out of human hide.
Sorceress of Naggarond.
It's an important resource. Alrighty, well, we'll have to go there eventually. Then we want to catch up to these guys. So that means Recruiter Asperon and Jaden, you're going to swap some stuff. First of all, you're going to take these Reaper Bolt Throwers. And then Asperon, you're going to leave the city for a second. I want to see how fast... Ooh, we could go directly to the Moon Shard through landing at it. I wonder if Kaz would help us, but this will most definitely take us... Oh, we already have found Avalorn. Oh, that's not great. Who are they fighting, incidentally, Avalorn? They are currently fighting the Seducers of Slaanesh and the Dread Fleet. I'm just wondering whether we should join the war, but since we found them, and we're most likely going to have to declare war on them, or they will declare war on us. I guess then the question is whether Tiranoc is in fact full of Eataine units, but it's probably still better than running around for several turns, so Jaden, you're going this way. And you are a sorceress as well, so go, go, go. I'll land here at the Moon Shard and take it out. Let's see if we meet Eataine. This is Tiranoc. This is... I can't tell who. Land. And Kazrak, you gonna help? Kazrak is not going to help, huh? I was really banking on Kazrak actually helping us out with this. Are they not at war with... Oh, they're not at war with each other. Oh, that's kind of funny. Well, the issue here is going to be that this is not a horrible force, but we do have the advantage of all of our magic, so we are going to have to fight this. Damn, we have a lot of potential battles right now. There is a secondary concern. Furion and all these guys might move in and attack Jaden, but that's not necessarily a horrible thing. I don't actually care about what happens to this army, like, at all. So if it dies, honestly, that would save us money. We just need them distracted long enough for us to destroy the lizards out here. But anyway, we'll deal with the battles after. Since we just fought one, I want to spread out the battles in the admin a little bit. Helebron, you need to... Well, you were going to go this way. And I guess we're going to have to raid through our own territory just to continue the healing. So you're going to go all the way out here and then hopefully get to the Fortress of the Damned this turn. Ooh, hello. I guess we could have sent her to the Tower of Sorcerers, but we need to take out the Fortress of the Damned either way. Raid our own territory to heal up, and just for a turn. And also, Shard Bastion, we do not need these things here at the current time. Although... I'm just wondering whether to make this a military province or not. In which case we might want to keep at least some of these things. I'll think about it. And the thing is, along the coastline at least, we're going to have to be forced to build watchtowers anyway. So there's that issue. Anyway, Jaden 2, or Jaden 1 technically. You are moving out this way to Crone Helebron to join her. Do we need to take anything from here? No, we'll just take these units from Helebron and deliver them back to Admiral Valal. Valal, you can just stay here for now. And because Admiral Yorn is keeping the Fortress of the Damned garrison busy. Okay, how about anybody else? Recruiter Avares. Well, I did not decide to build those Blackguard last turn, but I think for this turn, we're gonna. So, complete building. And we need this building as well. It does not actually increase the recruit rank, just the recruitment capacity. So in that light, time to build Blackguard. And we can only build 3 for now, but that's fine. Oh, we can actually increase the capacity. But we can only build 3 per turn anyway. Oh, 2,000 gold per unit. And that, I want to point out, is 2,000 gold minus 30% recruitment cost minus... 15% recruitment cost, and then minus another 15% recruitment cost. So minus 60% recruitment cost, and they still cost 2,000 gold? Really? You're telling me these guys... Huh. Okay, it feels like either something's not working or these guys are just the most insanely expensive recruitment ever. It's kind of interesting to see this compared to, for example, the Karl Franz campaign, where recruitment is free, essentially, for all units due to the reductions, but apparently not so much here. Anyway, let's see what else we have to do that isn't fighting, and then we'll fight. Let's see. Hyther, you're one of the tech thieves. Yes, yes. All tech thieves must steal tech.
Bring it down.
There we go, another success, and you do not need that cold one mount, but you certainly do need to apply that steel tech and get bonus tech thievery. There should be another tech thief out here somewhere. Lothiel, you're doing the same, and another success. At least they're leveling quite well. Does the Sacrifice to Hakarti give us bonus levels? Yeah, experience gain plus 50%, so we definitely want to make good use of this. Steel tech for you as well. And we're probably going to, you know, fix their skill points with a one-button respec later on, but not right now. And the reason I'm not doing that is because we need a lot of money. And I'd rather not waste 1,000 gold per sorceress just to do that at the current time. Anyway, specialist for you, and then Ava, you have already done your thing. You, however, Sareth, have not. Decent amount of tech thieves, if nothing else. And you can get steel tech. What are we at in terms of tech, by the way? 262%, still not enough to get this down to 3 game. Come on now. We really got to get it down to 3. Ooh, I also just realized that we just lost our Glory to Malekith, Witch King, no, Heir of Anarion. We need to keep Druchii Discipline up and running basically permanently right now, so Druchii Discipline. It's too good. It's too good. We can't get rid of it. I am also tempted to get a few of the Witch King buffs, but we'll hold off. I do have to wonder whether offering to Anathema the extra 25% would make us lose a turn here, but honestly, later on, we should have enough tech thievery to make it not really necessary or worth our time, so we're going to continue ignoring it for a little bit. Anyway, admirals are good. Recruiter Esperon is not recruiting anything at the current time. I did want to get Doomfire Warlocks for Morathi, and I did also want to get the additional shades in here. And oh, I just realized, because we just got a new shade building and we're about to reduce shade capacity, so maybe we keep the shade building, and the word shade has lost all meaning now. Maybe we keep the shade building until we at least build those up. You know, let's keep the shade building. Just briefly. Morathi is still going to need more shades, and they have to be the dual weapon shades as well. Why the dual weapon shades? Because they have nearly double the range of the greatsword shades, and while we'll have a few greatsword shades in there, mostly to hit enemies in the back, it'll be the dual weapon shades that make up the bulk of that army, and the Doomfire Warlocks as well. Anyway, you know what? We should still make use of the time to recruit. Oh, that's basically all of our cash. Damn you, recruitment. Why are you so expensive? No, well, nothing here will reduce our recruitment costs, will it? No, unfortunately not. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Morathi needs to have her own stack up and running properly, so... Anyway, do we attack Cat Pillar, or do we attack somebody else? I think Cat Pillar's the way to go. Druchii First Strike doesn't work at sea, so there's no point. Malekith, away you go. Can't have a good episode without Malekith fighting, and oh wow, close victory, and they're actually going to fight. I very sincerely doubt that this is going to be a close victory. And I'm just now wondering whether we should pick another fight. Well, Malice has to fight, but that is going to be... You know what? I think the fight with that little other army is going to be much, much more difficult. This one, let's face it, 90% of this army is skinks, and they're all going to get killed by Malekith casting things on them. So I'm going to auto-resolve this until we find a better fight. We do have Ulthuan probably coming up very soon. Let's take the slaves. It's 700, very solid. And we're starting to get a decent amount, so we're probably going to reactivate... we're going to have to reactivate a bunch of diktats soon. You then are going to land right here at Swamp Town. And auto-resolve this as well. So we're not going to sack it, even though it's always tempting to sack with Malekith, but this is really not worth it. And how's your healing, bud? It's not that great. It's really not that great. Hey, another Fimir Balefiend. Yeah, we really need that Death Hag in this army, and in fact, wait, do we have capacity for Death Hags right now? Because if we do, we could... Yes, we do. Strong isn't bad. The additional armor on the Blood Cauldron. I would actually prefer tough over strong, but, you're also strong. But again, I would prefer tough over strong. I'm just wondering. We could also get first strike, which would give the charge bonus to the Black Guard of Naggarond, rather than buffing up the... Yeah, they have a relatively small charge. Maybe it'll be worth our time. Alright, you know what? Let's get first strike for Kane. The Death Hag is here, after all, mostly to buff the units around her up, so yeah. First strike it is, and honestly, if we get a better one, we'll get a better one later on. And, well, obviously, to replenish Malekith's troops, we will also want to, well, we won't care about Hag Queen all that much, so it won't be a priority for us, even though it'll still be necessary to level these units up. None of this also buffs Executioners, unfortunately, because, well, Malekith's probably going to get a few Executioners in his army. Not just Blackguard of Naggarond, at least 2, and just to dish out anti-infantry damage to act as the infantry blenders. For now, though, I guess you'll get Dance of Death, and let's say Impassioned. Although the Cauldron of Blood actually has 80%, or 80 armor rather, so not horrible anyway. It's just, well, it'll still be very vulnerable to range fire. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let us fight. Jaden. Jaden 2, you're going to attack this, and if Kazrak kills you, well, then we'll know that we'll be at war with Kazrak. Should be a fun little fight. The enemy has an artillery piece, and so do we. We have range superiority, they have melee superiority, we have magic superiority, they have a single entity killing superiority. Attack.
Very well.
Alrighty, here we go, and you know, I am pretty excited for this battle. It may be a relatively minor and somewhat inconsequential fight at the end of the day, but hey, we still have to take care of these bleak holes, and on top of that, I do like it when a fight is likely to be even, and this one most certainly is likely to be a fairly even fight. I'm not entirely sure we'll win or not, but oh well, we'll give it our best. We do have a massive amount of range superiority, so if we can prevent the enemy breaking through our lines, and we can certainly take good advantage of it. And, oh, look at the Dark Steed looking up at the sky. Alrighty, well, here we go. The battle will be joined not by our army, but rather by our sorceress, who's going to move in and start casting. Oh, did you really miscast on the first cast? That wasn't even an overcast version. Yeah, she did miscast. We gotta get some faction-wide miscast reductions, and maybe try to give every single sorceress Ephemer Bale Fiend. Oh, wait, do the Ephemer Bale Fiends? No, they have action success chance. I feel like there's something that will give you some, at least, miscast reduction. But anyway, since the army does not want to move towards us, we're going to take the advantage of dropping a few of these Flocks of Doom on them. They're not going to do a crazy amount of damage, mind you. Haven't even gotten a single kill yet, but a single use of the Flock of Doom will give us, let's see, 5.4k in damage with, at the cost of 9 mana. It's okay. I think Chillwind would probably be doing more damage, but at the end of the day, at the very least, it's going to hurt those Dark Shards, and they are the biggest threat on the field after all. And we can see them taking much more damage than the more heavily armored units are, and if the Dark Shards are destroyed, the enemy will not have a chance here. Anyway, that's going to continue, and we're going to continue casting, and honestly, if the enemy wants to blob up in such a way that more of their units are hit by a single cast of Flock of Doom, that would be fantastic. It makes the spell more and more worth it, but that's basically true of every single spell. Like, you're not going to want to use a Vortex on one unit, generally speaking, any more than you're going to want to use a Flock of Doom on a single unit. So, yeah, that's a really, really valuable unit with regards to the Vortex, but certainly not Flock of Doom. Anyway, here we go. Enemies are rushing towards us. They have taken some damage. I mean, we can clearly see one of the Dark Shards units at half HP. The Black Ark Corsairs are at 2/3, and we still got more casts where that came from. 17,000 damage before the battle starts ain't too bad. And on top of that, our artillery will begin to fire before the enemy artillery is in range, and hopefully we can take out or at least heavily damage those Blackguard of Naggarond before they move in. Though obviously if they do get in range of our range units, we'll be focusing down those Blackguards so that they can't fight us in melee. Alrighty. There we go. If nothing else against infantry armies, the Reaper bolt throwers are looking pretty good. The enemy is firing back with its own Reaper bolt throwers, but using its single shot. The enemy AI does have a tendency to do this for some reason, and prefers single shot over split shot or multi-shot, whatever the heck it's called. Not a great idea against infantry-heavy armies for sure, but they can occasionally snipe single entities and elites with it, so you still do have to be wary. Anyway, the enemy army moves in, and the balance of power has actually shifted a little bit in our favor before the battle started, probably due to the damage dealt by the sorceress and our artillery before the battle began. On top of that, it looks like the Bleak Swords and Black Guard are trying to chase our sorceress around, which is kind of smart and kind of dumb at the same time. I wanted to send the sorceress to attack the Reaper bolt throwers to get them into melee, while our own Reaper bolt throwers focus down enemy infantry, as it is probably more advantageous to do so. But it looks like with the Black Guard of Naggarond keeping the sorceress at bay, she won't be able to do that. That said, this also means that the Black Guard of Naggarond will not join the fray, so not sure about that one. Anyway, here we go, a very dark map, but you know what? For some reason throughout this campaign, or perhaps because of the additions of the graphical changes slash mods that we have in this particular campaign, the darker battles have really grown on me. We've gotten some really cool shots of them, and occasionally they are quite nice. Especially these ones, which are like half dark, but also there's some decent lighting. The reshade in the HDR really does help that in particular. Anyway, right now we are trying to have individual units of enemy range units focus down. 2 to 3 of our dark shards are specifically trying to focus down individual enemies, such that we don't take too long, and then we switch to the next enemy after that. The enemy infantry will be held at bay, and if we can destroy the enemy range, our own range will be able to rip the remnants of the enemy infantry apart, if it all works out. Anyway, it looks like the enemy dark shards are in pretty bad shape generally, and as soon as the ones with shields turn their backs to us, they're going to start taking even more damage and hopefully not come back. Balance of power shifts further in our favor to about 80%, I want to say, and the enemies are having a really difficult time getting or staying close to our main line. Our artillery is also doing decent, especially as it's been completely untouched by the enemy, and it looks like with that, the battle seems to be ours, just as Murderous Prowess activates. And yes, I'm aware we do have the option of teching into that ability to activate Murderous Prowess sooner by sacrificing the slaves, but so far, honestly, I haven't thought it's been needed. And oh, I really like the green color scheme on this enemy, though, I gotta say. Damn you, Bleak Holds, with your good color scheme. Not that the purple isn't too bad, but the mix of green and purple wouldn't be too bad either, but yeah, they look nice. I like the armor. I should have taken a closer look at the enemy other units. Oh yeah, you can't really see it on the Black Guard very well because they really only have their cloaks and sashes and the plumes on their helmet. That is colorful. But anyway, the Black Guard achieved absolutely nothing here. 0 damage, 0 kills. They spent their time trying to chase after the horse-riding sorceress, and then got ripped apart by range units before they achieved anything. The Death Hag tries to run, but will eventually be shot down by the piles of our Dark Shards, and the battle will end. There we go. Oh, lovely. Sorry, Bleak Holds, but it looks like we should be able to take this without too much trouble. If we get a turn to heal here as well, all the better, though there is no guarantee. I'm not entirely sure whether the enemy armies are close enough to be able to attack us immediately, but it looks like we didn't take so much damage that we can't give a good account of ourselves, even if the enemy does try to attack in reprisal. Let's find out. Alrighty, that did not go too bad. Did not have nearly as many losses as I was expecting there. The range superiority definitely overcame the enemy. Didn't get too much damage out of the sorceress, at least nothing crazy at 34k damage, as roughly equivalent to the 2 Reaper bolt throwers, for example. But she did do decent, and on top of that, she essentially forced the enemy to be distracted with several of their units chasing her around, which was worth it in and of itself. We are going to... oh, well, that's a question. I feel like we want to loot and occupy this place. Why? Because we get the extra little bit of healing and we may need it if the enemy attacks us next turn, regardless of the provincial instability. Moonshard also looks like it has hulls of mustering, and we can repair you immediately. There is something we could do. We could, oh no, wait, not this turn. If we were to delete the halls of mustering and immediately build the wall there, and we would be able to instantly build it. You know what, that's not a bad idea. I know this provides us the ability to recruit as well, though. But do we really want to waste money on this? I don't think we do. I'm going to delete this. And we're going to replace it with walls. And now, out of curiosity, are we in contact with Eataine? No, still not yet, so that's good. And that's good, though it's only a matter of time now. I also do wonder whether Kazrak is going to stay here, or whether he's going to attack us, or what's going to happen. Next up, Jaden, I was going to give you Root Marcher, but I guess that's no longer really necessary. We will probably then go for Wissen's wild form instead, or... no, you know what? Let's go Inspiring Presence. If we get another point in Sheaf Master, it would be really helpful. We have 3 more turns until Sacrifice to Mathland, so we do want a Black Arc here. Morathi needs her own Black Arc nearby to support her, and we'll probably want at least a couple of Black Arcs for the invasion of Ulthuan around as well. So we're going to need to start preparing Admiral Leech to go out there, and we'll probably send Admiral Yorn back around once we're done here, and then we'll keep Admiral Valal with Helebron to reeve the coast and maybe attack the Shadow Legion. Doesn't really matter who we send to attack the Shadow Legion, but somebody will. Anyway, with that, we are out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. Fun little battles. Next time, we will probably destroy the Lizardmen for good. There are 3 defended locations remaining, or 4 locations remaining, but none of them have a stack, as I believe that was the last of the Mazda Mundi stacks. I'm sure we'll get into a conflict with Oxyodal, or with, well, probably not Oxyodal, but probably with Gorok down south, especially as soon as we confederate with Rakarth. So that is pretty much inescapable. But for now, the lizards will be out, and we'll continue our preparation for the attack on Ulthuan as we've begun our recruitment. Do we have any capacity left for Harganeth Executioners? We can't build them here, though. Yeah, we can only build them here at Harganeth, and I'm not sure that we have... no, we do. This is our only tier 4 temple, which means we don't have any additional executioner capacity. We could, however, finish up the temple at Naggarond, which, you know what, we may want to do as well. And once we finish up the Dreadmanse together with this, we'll get a couple of executioners and then all the Blackguard to join Malekith's army. Yeah, that'll work. Alrighty, anyway, more Malekith to come, so stay tuned. Can't wait to use all the new armies and stuff. Though the recruitment is taking a little bit of time, it's not so bad. And we're inching our way towards our next confederation as well, as we need 300 Witch King's authority, which will come in sooner than you'd think. Though, perhaps we want to do both confederations at once. We'll figure it out once we get there. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.